Now that the show is almost set up, do you think is a Meshuggah?
You're asking me?
Yes.
Well, what do you think? You think it's a Meshuggah?
I think it's a.
I think it's close. I mean, I don't know if there is the ultimate Meshuggah, but I think we're really quite close to
reaching a Meshuggah.
Yeah, I would say at least we're in a Meshuggah island anyway. Yeah, I'm quite pleased. And we're on an we're in a highway. That's what I love about this space. It's like a gas station, Kunsthalle on a highway across the street from the most influential building about in 20th century art, the Secession. I think it's perfectly connected, and this was a good place to be a Meshuggah, a GesammttkkunnsttMeshuggah.
So we are showing now also a lot of things. Your family of works of divinities and
yeah, and thank you. You're the first person to sort of inspire me to show the whole Gesammttkkunnsttwerkkkk all together. And this is my first opportunity at 68 to show my whole Gesammttkkunnsttwerkkkk, and it doesn't feel like a one-man show. As yesterday, the woman who came, she thought it was a totemic toy store. I said, oh, that was the woman I disputed with a little bit.
At the totemic toy store.
Yeah, I like that. It's a totemic toy store. But it has a nice totemic toy. Say that 10 times fast.
But we are showing also these the videos, the performance you did for the camera, this video performance you did in the 70s. And
yeah, because I came here to Austria in the 70s as a action Künstler from New York. And so those are some of the pieces that I showed back then as an action Künstler. That's a word that the Austrians like especially.
And at the time, especially not so much at the time of these videos, but when you start to show like all your divinities, as you call it, you say that at the time.
Well, they call themselves also divinities,
yeah.
And now people are starting to call them divinities too. I'm
At
glad, because they don't like. They get really upset if you call them toys, and they complain in the middle of the night. I can't sleep and anything.
So especially at the times at the end of the 70s, you say very often has the artwork was not embracing this kind of a figure like you that is very hard to fit in a precise category.
That's it. I was, yeah.
So
uncategorizable.
And I'm curious to know, how do you feel about now?
I'm so happy.
After 40 years, do you think that your
I'm
way
so
of
happy
being
now.
is more...
It's certainly more fun. Oh no, but you don't have to be Einstein to see this is more fun than Carl Andre putting together, I mean, as lovely a man as he is. Though Sarlowit was more fun, for example. Sarlowit was in that way, but he was a very playful man and a very humanist man. So it depended. There were like more open people of that time, and the more closed people of that time. But the whole general tendency was so strict and schlicked and flicked. So I'm happy to be gesplickt and gepickt now, after all these different
Well, I was curious to know if you, in a way, feel that we live in a historical time where the art is a bit more open to accept also things that are not like following or not.
Yeah, but what's amazing also now for me, because, you know, in those days, they thought art like this and a person like this who criticized and crossed was a little bit crazy. Every show now I do, I work with so many people. Like, there are 10 people working with us, and all generations, and they seem to be all having a good time. I mean, and they even come up immediately, that would look better like that, but in really intelligent and not in foolish ways or in making fun ways. And so we're in a generation now. That's what makes me happy. I'm not just now an artist who's found his time, blah, 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 blah. It took him a long time. But we're in another world, a community, where works like this and a guy like this is inspires also others to go their own way now, and their own way can be any way. I mean, it's like when people still now talk about, I was in somewhere at a restaurant recently, and I said, well, I'm a contemporary artist, and she said, oh, are you in minimalism? I mean, I know that word since 55 years. Have they not found 3 or 4 other words in the last 55 years? And so, and they tried to say, because I hung out with a few people from this, but I also hung out with some abstract expressionists.
I think he was more related to your music.
Well, no, but it wasn't, because even that wasn't minimal. I mean, once you said it was minimal, you started to listen to it like it was minimal, and that was very minimalizing. So what I like now is that everything is sort of opened up with internet, of course, but all the generations, wherever I do a piece now in the Whitney, in the Louvre, in MoMA, wherever we go, there's like a community of whole generations of people, and we're all working together. And even sometimes they're giving me good ideas, better ideas than I had, because I can't do it. I'm not perfect. I can't do anything, and I don't like that kind of art. Also, I was always coming from performance. I'm a more social person than these kind of like constructors of sculpture, painting, and they're much more in their own factories doing and I'm not like that. I like interaction, which came already out of performance, ephemeral, and so now we're putting it all together.
But I think one of the other reasons why I think your work is so inspiring and influential also for the younger generation is also that we live in a time where there are much of the art that is produced right now is made of reenactments, is made of works dealing always with the past, with a lot of copycats and etc. Most of it, but
packaged, I would call it.
And
in terms of market of now.
In terms of attitude, so having packaged. Someone that
sounds nice when I say it like that, but otherwise I don't like it. But today,
having someone as you that is able to create his own world, his own language. Also, your way of also having the way you display your work should be always like in your style. I think it's now very important. It's pretty rare to find someone that is, instead of copying or being inspired by something else, is eager to create his own thing.